We're right on the border of South Boston and Dorchester, right across the street from the Andrew T. stop and the site of a deadly crash early this morning.
Multiple calls for a vehicle that crashed into a building.
That SUV crashed into 600 Dorchester Avenue, but not before witnesses say it appears the SUV ran over a man trying to cross this intersection just before 9:30 this morning. Randall Burgess watched from his wheelchair just a few feet away.
There was two impacts. The impact from the vehicle hitting the person and the vehicle going into the wall.
Police say the man struck in the street was pronounced dead shortly after he arrived at a Boston hospital. Randall also tried to help the couple in the SUV.
So when I rushed over on my scooter, I went to the vehicle first, and I recall opening the door, asking the gentleman, was he okay? He said that he was hurting, he was moaning. I said, stay right here, I'll be right back. Then I walked to the middle of the street to see if the victim that will land on the pavement was all right, but I can see that he was already dead.
Boston police confirmed the two in the SUV were rushed to a local hospital and are listed in critical condition tonight.
This intersection is basically dangerous.
Margaret Chabera grew up near this intersection and says it has always been dangerous, adding this is the second fatal accident at the intersection in the past 2 years.
Unfortunately, an accident had happened like this today to make people aware that there needs to be more safety guidelines in this intersection.
Back live now, recapping: one person has died, two still in critical condition tonight, and Boston police tell us their homicide units as well as their fatal collision team continue to investigate this crash. We're live in South Boston. I'm Ted Wayman, WCVB News Center 5.
Ted, thank you. In Southern California, thousands of firefighters and first responders are working around the clock to contain the historic destruction from several major wildfires there. Nearly 10 million people across the area are under a red flag warning and fire weather watch through Wednesday. The White House saying President Biden is set to hold a briefing with key officials on the fires today. More than 100,000 people are still under an evacuation order. At least 10,000 properties have been destroyed. Families left in tears, wondering how they will rebuild.
Lots of tears, anger. We're going through the stages of grief. There's no doubt about it. We've gotten through challenges before. This just feels like the biggest thing that's ever happened to us.
At least 16 people have died as a result of those fires, and officials expect the death toll to continue to rise.
And more people from the LA area arriving in Boston today as California officials say for many it's still not safe to return back to their homes.
A dire situation. Our Danae Bucci is live at Logan Airport now. She spoke with some of those people as those fires burned. Danae.
That's right, Jennifer. A JetBlue flight from Los Angeles landed here at Logan less than an hour ago, and the people on board tell me the scene out in Los Angeles is truly apocalyptic. Videos and pictures are just heartbreaking coming out of Los Angeles right now. There are 3 fires currently burning in LA County, and Petra Hausberger saw the Palisades fire before taking off today. She says she evacuated to Palm Springs because the air quality was so bad. She tells me the typically happy, carefree LA is anything but right now.
It's crazy. It's unpredictable. You never know when a new fire is going to start up. It's very depressing. We were in Beverly Hills yesterday afternoon having lunch, and it was a ghost town. There's really not much going on because the air quality is so bad. So people are really just freaked out, staying at home and just waiting, watching the really depressing news. So it's not a happy place right now.
The Palisades fire is the largest one that's burning right now. It's nearly 24,000 acres large and is 11% contained. A total of 40,000 acres have burned in LA County since these fires started less than a week ago. We're live in Logan. Danae Bucci, WCVB News Center 5.
Absolutely devastating. Danae, thank you. A morning flight forcing to make an emergency landing.
Yeah, a plane touching down in the grass with no landing gear. What we're learning about the intense moments out of Central Mass.
Plus, just about 1 week away from Inauguration Day, the important work happening in Washington this week as a transition of power gets underway.
And we have another pleasant day up ahead to kick off our work week before we turn much colder and windy. Exactly when that arrives, I'll show you coming up.
You're watching WCVB News Center 5 at 6.
Take a look at this, a scary sight out in western Mass. Orange Fire sharing these pictures of a plane landing on its belly. Firefighters say the plane reported landing gear problems near Orange Airport around 9:30 this morning. The plane was forced to make an emergency landing in the grass. We're told no one was hurt. Authorities say it's not yet clear what went wrong.
A live look now over Capitol Hill. A busy week ahead in Washington as confirmation battles begin for more than a dozen of President-elect Donald Trump's key cabinet nominees.
ABC's Mary Alice Parks has more as the transition into a new presidency kicks into high gear.
Senate Republicans, eager to get started on President-elect Trump's agenda, are hoping to have his cabinet in place as soon as possible. They've scheduled at least 14 confirmation hearings this week. On Tuesday, the Senate Armed Services Committee will begin the process to confirm one of Trump's most controversial picks, former Fox News host Pete Hegseth for Defense Secretary. Hegseth previously faced accusations of sexual and financial misconduct as well as alcohol abuse. He's denied the claims and has never been charged. But some senators are also concerned that the Army National Guard veteran does not have the experience to run the Pentagon. He spent several days on Capitol Hill last month working to drum up support.
What they want to do to make sure that department is properly oriented for the threats of the world and make sure that we're putting the warfighters first. That's what Donald Trump asked me to do.
ABC News confirming the FBI interviewed multiple people about Hegseth's personal life as a part of a background check investigation. Hegseth himself sitting for an interview with the FBI as a part of that work. Some of Trump's other controversial and potentially very consequential nominees are still waiting for their hearing dates to be set. Kash Patel, nominated to lead the FBI, Tulsi Gabbard, nominated to be the Director of National Intelligence, and Robert F. Kennedy Jr., nominated to head the Department of Health and Human Services. Kennedy has made repeated false claims linking vaccines to autism. Republican West Virginia Senator Shelley Moore Capito told Fox News Sunday that she was impressed with Kennedy after meeting with him.
He came back with he's not anti-vaccination. He just is he wants to have it science-based. And that's what he kept going back to. Let's have basic science to make these decisions.
This week, hearings will be held for Pam Bondi to be the Attorney General. She's expected to be confirmed easily, but will likely face tough questions about the independence of the Justice Department and pardons for January 6 rioters. And Florida Senator Marco Rubio is also likely to have an easy time getting approved by his colleagues to be the next Secretary of State. Mary Alice Parks, ABC News, Washington.
Well, it's nice today, right? You know, it was 30
Clear
something.
skies,
Yeah,
pretty
felt
blue
nice.
skies.
It's like warm for now, given what we've experienced, David.
We are in the middle of January. I mean, that is what we can expect.
Yeah,
but it's
exactly.
nice to have those milder temperatures and no wind, by the way.
No wind, which is great. Unfortunately, that's not going to continue over the next several days. That wind does return. Yesterday was also a fantastic day. We saw a little bit of snow, depending on where you happen to live. You can see in Boston, officially picked up 1.8 inches of snow. So that puts our yearly total at 7.5 inches, which is still below normal, but an improvement compared to last year. Worcester, you picked up 2.2 inches of snow, which is less than what you saw last year. On both fronts, we're running below average. And this month so far has also been running below average as far as temperatures are concerned. We just haven't been able to cash in on some snowstorms considering all the cold air that's in place. Tomorrow, a little bit on the milder side, and then we're right back to cold conditions. But once again, it does not look like it's going to accompany a big snowstorm this time around. Outdoors, mostly clear skies. That'll allow for temperatures to fall just a few more degrees before those clouds arrive, all thanks to a warm front that's going to lift north. So overnight cloud cover, but waking up tomorrow morning, those clouds clear. You'll see some sunshine, but we have a front on the way, and along that front, maybe even a few flurries, but I don't think most of us are going to see that action. Currently sitting at 35 degrees in the city of Boston. A light wind out of the west-northwest at 5 miles per hour, making it feel more like 31 degrees. Dew point currently sitting at 18 degrees, which is still dry, but an improvement from single-digit dew points. So you can see temperatures across the area, mainly in the 20s, a few locations in the 30s. So you may be dealing with some icy spots early on tomorrow morning, but as we warm things up, of course, more snow will continue to melt. So waking up tomorrow morning, partly cloudy skies, but it will be cold, mainly in the mid to upper 20s. A few locations, the farther west you happen to be, waking up to the lower 20s. Now, as we work our way into our afternoon hours come tomorrow, clouds will increase, and here comes our cold front. Maybe the chance for a flurry for central and western Mass, But as these flurries try to work their way farther east, losing quite a bit of their punch, maybe dealing with snow squalls out toward New York, but not dealing with any snow squalls here in southern New England. Right back to sunshine for your early Tuesday morning, but once again, it does come with wind by Tuesday and Wednesday. Daytime highs tomorrow. Temperatures upper 30s, lower 40s. It's going to feel pleasant out there, especially once you compare it to what's up ahead by your Tuesday and Wednesday. Windy and cold on both days, and especially starting off in the morning, it's going to feel frigid out there. Early Thursday morning, even colder. So although daytime highs on Tuesday will be in the upper 20s, lower 30s, it's going to feel more like the teens and 20s. And then by your early Wednesday morning, feeling like the single digits and teens out there. So tomorrow, the warmest day out of the next several, and by warm, just a little bit warmer than where we should be, which is 37 degrees. By Tuesday, Wednesday, temperatures take quite a bit of a dip. You can see in the upper 20s, lower 30s. Thursday, a slow climb, but not all that much of a climb. Still upper 20s, lower 30s. By Friday, we're finally in the mid to upper 30s, and that continues into your weekend. But even on the back end of our 7-day forecast, so for next week, we may be looking at colder than average conditions. And once you compare that to where we should be, that is going to be the coldest point of the year, which is next week on average. So we're expecting possibly a pretty cold week next week, and that lines up with where we should be. Monday through Friday, not expecting a widespread rain or snow chance. By Saturday and Sunday, maybe a chance for a mix working its way in by Saturday and Sunday, but we're still several days away. We'll have to see how everything shakes out. But for now, a pleasant day up ahead for tomorrow. By Tuesday and Wednesday, windy and cold. Thursday morning, several spots may be waking up to the single digits. Sean and Jen?
All right, David, thank you. The Patriots entering a new era with the hiring of Mike Vrabel as their new head coach.
Yeah, Duke has more on the decision and who Vrabel could be bringing with him. That's coming up in sports.